What is up, my dashing dudes and darling dames? I am the Hans TV, and welcome back to the biggest collection of the worst in-laws in history. It's r/JustNoMIL. Our first post for today comes from Ajo31. Mother-in-law at it again. My mother-in-law had a good relationship, up until I got pregnant. She shared the news with her friends after we announced and told everyone she was getting a baby. Her friends actually thought she was adopting a child. When my daughter was born, they visited in the hospital a few hours later. My husband was holding her, and my mother-in-law said that the baby was so happy with daddy, and that mommy was just the milk cow. She's done other things along the way, but those are two that stick out the most. Feel free to read my last post here in my history if you want to know all the details. Anyway, fast forward to now. My daughter is almost 7 months old. She was born the week before everything locked down where I am. We had no visitors. We had no village to help me. We didn't see family. His family barely reached out to check on us. His mother dropped off one meal during the newborn stage. That was it. She's retired and can absolutely do more. But it's almost like we were being punished for not letting them see the baby. Well, once the weather got better and baby was vaccinated, we would do outdoor distanced visits. We've slowly woke up to allowing people to hold her for very short periods of time with masks on. But given all of this, my baby hasn't really been exposed to many people. She's only been to 2 stores in her short life. She's seen my in-laws a handful of times. She's met others in the family once, maybe twice. Also, given her age, she's just hit the separation anxiety stage and is very used to it just being me and her since my husband works all day and I lost my job due to COVID. So, anyway, onto the story. This past Saturday, we went apple picking with my in-laws, my brother-in-law and his girlfriend, and my husband cousin and her BF. 8 adults, 1 baby. Most of whom she's met only a few times. My in-laws have only held her once recently before this, and she freaked out. My brother-in-law hasn't held her recently at all. So, things started out okay. Then my brother-in-law asks to hold the baby. So I hand her over but make sure I'm close by so she can see me. My mother-in-law then tells my brother-in-law to get in a picture with father-in-law and the baby. She didn't ask my husband to get in the picture, which pissed him off. He forced his way in and announced he was getting in. I snidely replied, "Good, you should. It's your damn kid after all." So, he gets in the picture and mother-in-law is annoyed but trying not to show it. Whatever. I get the baby back and we finish up and head to the cars. My hubby says that he wants his dad to hold the baby, so I hand her over to him. My baby starts looking for me and gets upset. No full crying, but fussing. So, I start talking to her and move so she can see me. My mother-in-law tells father-in-law that the baby needs to learn how to be away from me, and yells at him to walk into the field behind him with baby so she can't see me. My father-in-law says no, it's fine for her to see her mom. My mother-in-law insists. Husband tells her to stop. Mother-in-law continues to insist. My husband gets louder and tells her enough. My mother-in-law responds that she's a mother and knows what she's talking about, and this is how it has to be done, and she can't have me all the time. My husband yells at her again. I take my now very upset baby back. So, I'm livid, but there's a lot of us there and I'm trying hard to stay calm. I'm hoping my husband yelling at her was good enough since she really never gets like that. Well, cousin asked to hold the baby. I hand her to her and again stay nearby. Mother-in-law now jumps in front of me to block my daughter from seeing me, saying it has to be done this way and she can't keep needing me. I snap back and tell her that I will teach my daughter this when the timing is appropriate, but she's never seen or been held by others before, and it's not appropriate to teach her that at this time. My husband gets loud again. I take the baby back and soothe her since she's upset again and was leaning towards me, so I knew she wanted me. We left after that, but I am just so tired. This woman has criticized everything we've done and every choice we've made since day one. She tells my baby that she doesn't need me. Literally flat out said, "You don't need your mommy," multiple times that day. On what planet is that okay? My husband has tried to talk to her before, and she says she loves me and us and has no issues. I get that this pandemic made things hard and none of us saw this coming, but this event started before that. It's like she thinks she should have the baby all the time. On a FaceTime call, my daughter smiled at me and mother-in-law said, "Oh, do you see that lady?" Bitch, I am her mother. She also told us that I needed a break, so baby should stay with her for a month. I've already made clear to my husband that she will never be alone with our daughter. Aside from all of this, she didn't exactly do the best job with my husband or my brother-in-law. But I am tired. The pandemic took enough from me. I then lost my job after months of isolation. My husband is high risk, so we have no normalcy in sight. And this woman is just continuing to impact my mental health. Once I'm on my husband's insurance, I will be looking for a therapist. I'm not sure if I just need to talk or have actual PPD now, but I'm tired, and I just don't even know how to navigate this anymore. Oh look, another mother-in-law pretending that your baby is their own. How quaint. No, but seriously, grandparents, they're not your f***ing kids. You don't get to decide what's best for them. The parents do. So fuck off. Our second and final post for today comes from Keeping It Mithril. Mother-in-law thinks she is my kid's mom. Hi, my husband and I have a gorgeous 3-year-old. We recently moved across the country from my in-laws after I had to live with them for a year during my husband's deployment. Prior to that, we lived across the country at his duty station. During the phase I lived with them, my mother-in-law decided she was my child's real mom and would constantly tell anyone except me about what a bad mom I am. Going as far as to message my husband during a missile attack in Iraq about how I was too depressing after being assaulted and not being super happy all the time. She would tell people she was my daughter's mom when they were out in public. She would go behind my back after I'd tell my daughter no, i.e. candy at bedtime, staying up late, watching the damn iPad they gave her, and then deny it when my daughter would rat her out with chocolate all over her mouth or the iPad in her hands. I mean, everything I said no to. She would text my husband how I'm mean and give it to my daughter anyway as soon as I left the room to pee. Fast forward to today. My brother-in-law visited my in-laws and felt like he needed to tell me that my mother-in-law cried all night because on my daughter's birthday this weekend, they video called as my daughter woke up from her nap, and our best friends and their baby came over with a gift. Of course, daughter was distracted and didn't want a video chat. I apologized, my daughter said goodbye, and we hung up. So then, mother-in-law cried all night about how my daughter feels abandoned and she needs my mother-in-law. All because a 3-year-old is distracted easily? Then went into how I'm a terrible mom, how she's sure our daughter is suffering without her. Lol, okay. Poor baby not feasting on candy and falling asleep with someone going in to sleep in her bed behind my back. Surprise. In-laws are coming here at the end of October. I have no idea what to do. Both my husband and I work, and I'm so worried about what she will do and say to my daughter when we aren't around. What the hell do I do in preparation? I am sensing a theme in these stories that I am not so sure that I like. Anyway, OP, use that pandemic to your advantage. Just be like, oh, I'm sorry. We can't. We're high risk, blah, blah, blah. Just make up excuses to get out of it, because that lady should not be around your daughter. She is her grandparent, not her parent. Well, all right, my dashing dudes and darling dames, that is going to do it for today's episode of r/JustNoMIL. I hope you liked the stories, and if you did, I'm going to link them in the description as always. And if you liked the video, subscribe, share, drop a like, and a comment down below with what you'd like to see me read next. A humongous thank you to everyone who is engaging with the videos so well. I cannot thank y'all enough for what y'all do, because y'all are pushing my videos to the forefront, and it's really helping me out with this channel. But with that being said, I will see you in the next video.